Well, a very good evening and many thanks indeed for joining us. My name is Omondi, Otieno and this is KUTV Primetime News. It is a Tuesday, the 24th, the 8th of May, the year 2022. Tonight, we have a lot in store for you, matters happening in the country and of course beyond our borders. But as is our custom, let's take a look at the stories making headlines tonight. Interior CS Dr. Matiang'i demands ISPAC to take action on accountants linked to graft. Kenya Kwanza Brigade to camp in the coastal region for the next 4 days, advancing their agenda. Jubilee Party dismisses the issue of zoning within the larger Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition. The Mirema shooting suspect detained for 14 days to enable officers to complete investigations.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Omondi Otieno.
Welcome to the broadcast, and I'm not alone. I'm with the company of Moses Gitonga, who's our sign language interpreter tonight. Now, we are streaming live this broadcast on our social media platforms on Facebook, KUTV Kenya, and on Twitter, KUTV_Kenya. It's also live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya Live. Now, Interior CS Dr. Fred Matiang'i has directed the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya, ISPAC, to root out rogue accountants who have been accused of engaging in corruption in the public sector. Speaking during a meeting with the ISPAC in Mombasa County on Tuesday, May 24th, the CS asked the organization to publicly name and shame the officials at the center of graft, pervasive and entrenched in the public sector. Matiang'i noted that the majority of the fraud committed in the government agencies and the state departments orchestrated by accountants skilled at circumventing financial systems.
We don't believe as executive branch of government that in and on our own we can successfully fight corruption. The war against corruption must involve all of us. It takes all of us to build a society of integrity. It takes all of us to preserve and protect and prudently use our resources. What that means is that each one of us, beginning from our individual capacities to institutional capacities such as ISPAC, we now have to stand up and rise up to the challenge of dealing with the challenges of integrity in our country.
All right, now to matters politics. Deputy President Dr. William Ruto on Tuesday led the Kenya Kwanza Alliance Brigade for a vote-hunting mission in the coastal town of Taita Taveta as it seeks to popularize the grouping and garner votes from the vote-rich region. The coast voter is wooing, rather the wooing of voters in the coastal region is expected to take the 4 days starting from today.
Exactly 10 days after ODM leader Raila Odinga visited the coast region between May 11 and May 14, Deputy President William Ruto and his team this Tuesday pitched camp in the coast town of Taita Taveta to hold his economic forums and rallies for 4 days starting today. Within 100 days of Ruto's presidency, should he claim power, his plan is to address the land question and return to port operations and cargo handling activities back to Mombasa, as well as revamping and reinvesting in local industries and related sectors that directly benefit the residents.
Maji ya Mzima tu ambayo tulikubaliana kabla ya maji hiyo ijateremka kwenda Mombasa, lazima iingie Taveta, lazima iingie Undanyi, lazima iingie Mwatate, lazima iende Voi kwanza, na iwe ni maji ya kutosha mifugo, iwe ni maji ya kutosha irrigation, na iwe ni maji ya kutosha matumizi manyumbani. Hiyo program nimewaeleza, hiyo program tushafanya procurement.
Following his numerous onslaught campaign against rail in the region, the DP now enjoys huge support from two coast governors, Salim Vuria of Kwale and Amason Kingi of Kilifi, and a host of other legislators.
Na ndani ya Kenya Kwanza ile mkataba ambao tumeweka na Mheshimiwa William Ruto, it does not matter who becomes the Minister for Lands. Shida ya pwani itataluliwa. It does not matter.
Kwanza pongezi kwa hatua hii, kwa sababu sisi tuna imani hii serikali yako ni ya kweli. Kuongea na mama mboga na bodaboda na kila sekta, jamani, ni unyenyekevu wa hali ya juu sana.
The leaders interacted with several traders and the people of Taita Taveta County, where the community tabled their issues, priorities and ideas.
Kuna changamoto nyingi sana katika sekta ya matatu, His Excellency. Ndikuwa naomba ukiingia mwezi wa 8 tarehe 9 uangalie swala la watu wa matatu, kwa sababu kuna mambo mengi ambayo yanatokea. Saa nyingine unasikia ajali zinafanyika Nairobi, hapa magari ndio yanashikwa, crackdown inafanyika hapa Taita Taveta.
Mimi kama mlemavu na wakilisha wenzangu huwa tuna kadi zile za disability, na zile kadi kuzipata huwa tunalipa 500, na wengine ni wanyonge, hata hizo 500 zenyewe hawana. Kwa hivyo naomba Deputy President, ukiingia katika huu uongozi ambao tunautarajia karibuni, utuangalie zile kadi ziwe tukipata bure.
To counter Raila's influence in the coast, Ruto has planned a series of 11 rallies in all the 6 counties of Taita Taveta, Kwale, Kilifi, Mombasa, Tana River and Lamu. The DP will have 2 rallies in Kwale, 3 rallies in Mombasa, 3 rallies in Kilifi, 2 rallies in Tana River and 1 rally in Lamu County, as well as 5 economic forums in the 5 counties of the region. Anodida for KU TV.
Thank you so much, Anodida, for that. Now, still on matters politics, the Jubilee Party has rejected claims of zoning in the Azimio One Kenya coalition. The party's national chairman, Nelson Zuya, denied the claims while attending a meeting in Mombasa County, saying the zoning did not exist. He added that Jubilee Party rallied behind all aspirants on the party's ticket.
The Jubilee Party has told all party aspirants to discard information on zoning in the Azimio One Kenya coalition. While speaking in a meeting in Mombasa, Jubilee Party National Chairman Nelson Zuya urged all aspirants on Jubilee ticket to focus on their campaigns because the party rallied behind them.
Wasaidia wagombea wetu wote kuwapatia enough campaign materials na resources za kutosha.
Zuya added that the party was convinced of their aspirants' influence on the ground and insisted that their candidate for Member of Parliament Renson Thoya had an upper hand for Member of Parliament seat as compared to ODM's candidate, sitting Member of Parliament Badi Twalib, making him a first choice in case Azimio opted to one candidate for the coalition in Jomvu constituency.
Sisi tumeambia wagombea wetu wote waendelee na kampeni zao, hakuna mambo ya zoning. Na tumesema ikiwa itafikia ni mambo ya zoning, mimi ningesema ya kwamba hata hapa Jomvu, ikiwa itafika mahali ya kwamba imetubidi sisi kama Azimio kufanya zoning, basi itakuwa ni mgombea wetu huyu Thoya, yeye aendelee kusimama na wale wengine wamuondokee.
Zoning has been witnessed in numerous parts of the country, more so in areas where different parties are in one coalition. An example is Nairobi County, where ODM aspirant for governor seat Tim Wanyonyi surrendered his bid in favor of Jubilee candidate Polycarp Igathe, who is vying for the same seat in the August polls.
Kwa hivyo ningeomba vijana tuingie na tu exercise siasa za amani, because uchaguzi unakuja na utaenda, Kenya tutabaki.
Zoning has become a major issue in coalitions, but party leaders are trying to come up with solutions. However, the real solution lies with the voters at the polling station. Kevin Omondi reporting for KU TV.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for that. Now, Azimio la Umoja's flag bearer Raila Odinga today met with representatives of the disabled persons in the country at the Nyayo Stadium to listen to their concerns in a bid to form a better government if he clinches power in the August polls. Odinga highlighted the issues facing the disabled, such as mega representation in political seats, among other stigmas that are associated with people living with disabilities.
How With the elections drawing near and various aspirants presenting themselves as the candidates best suited for the task, Azimio la Umoja's presidential hopeful Raila Odinga took it to the people living with disability to listen to concerns they said should be addressed in the future government. Raila vowed to address those concerns, more so job creation for them, cautioning that ignoring the disabled has major economic ramifications for the country.
As a country, we need to stop treating people with disabilities as objects of pity and welfare assistance and begin treating them as rights bearers. My proposal is that for a start, we need to put all people with disabilities on some kind of support depending on their needs.
Speaking during the event, representatives of people living with disabilities decried of underrepresentation in the government and called on Odinga to ensure maximum inclusivity for persons living with disability if he clinches power. He also called for the disabled to be allocated resources and business funds to improve their livelihoods, saying they have the potential to contribute to Kenya's economic recovery.
Uliunveil timu yako jana ya campaign. Mimi ni kijana na niko na nguvu. Naomba tujumuishwe kwenye hiyo team na tukutafutie kura Kenya mzima. And we have persons with disabilities who are registered voters. I'm sure they're going to vote you in.
It is for those who have nothing to offer, if the history is told, who want to teach our young people, our youth, that we do not need history.
In addition, the disabled asked the Raila government to set aside 5% of modern houses built for the disabled free of charge if he clinches power. Other leaders who accompanied Raila, including Tim Wanyonyi, Esther Pasaris and Edwin Sifuna, emphasized the need for special housing for the disabled and business facilitation. As the general election approaches, representatives of the disabled have called for greater involvement in the appointment of public offices and the interests being properly addressed in the next government.
With just 73 days remaining to the general elections, vote seems to have shifted to Raila Odinga's favor, who has now been entrusted with the futures of disabled persons in the August 9th polls. Daphne Orina for KUTV, Nairobi.
Right, thank you Daphne for covering that important stories. That tells us that the people with disabilities are able differently, but they form a very special segment of our population. Therefore, their voices, their concerns and pleas should be given a priority. Moving on. Now, 6 people are currently in police custody over last week's heckling of Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party's presidential running mate, that is Martha Karua, during her homecoming in Kirinyaga County. Kirinyaga Central Deputy Commissioner Daniel Ndege said the 6 were arrested for hurling stones at Karua's motorcade in Kagumo and Kerigoya. The 6 arrests come after Interior Principal Secretary Karanja Kibicho directed the police officers across the country to launch a crackdown on the goons being hired by rogue politicians to disrupt political events. And according to Kibicho, 2 local politicians are at the center stage of the unrest, having allegedly hired hooligans to interrupt political rallies organized by their rivals. Right, now and away from that, Dennis Karani Gachoki, who is the prime suspect in the Mirema Drive shooting, has been detained in police custody for 14 days pending investigations as ruled by the court, and Senior Principal Magistrate Caroline Njagi granted police the 2 weeks they had requested when the main suspect in the killing of Samuel Mugota was arraigned in court. And Corporal Kaparo Lekakeni, the investigating officer, told the court that they have a reason to believe that Karani was the driver of the vehicle that was ferrying the suspected killers. Gachoki has since claimed he is innocent and only met Muvota twice, once in Meru and in Nairobi. The case will be mentioned on June 8th. Right, now the National Environment and Environmental Management Authority, that is NEMA, has embarked on a countrywide 100 days rapid response initiative targeting farms and institutions discharging hazardous effluent into the environment, causing pollution. Now the crackdown has seen 7 individuals arrested for non-compliance, as our reporter Joy Pauline now informs us.
The National Environment Management Authority NEMA arrested 7 traders in Mombasa during a moment crackdown for violating effluent discharge regulations. NEMA Coast Regional Director for Environment Wachira Bore said the crackdown was aimed at creating awareness and ensuring that farms comply with the Environment Management and Coordination Act.
And the aim of this operation is to enlighten the public on the dangers of discharging wastewater into the environment, including into the ocean.
Mr. Bore reiterated that the aim was to enlighten the public on the dangers of discharging wastewater into the environment, including oceans and rivers. He called on the public and business owners in the county to visit NEMA offices for voluntary compliance to avoid arrest and prosecution. It's noteworthy that 7 individuals have already been arrested for non-compliance with the Environment Management and Coordination Act. 2 of the convicts are set to face charges in court.
Pending. Okay. Now that it is pending, you don't have an EI license, you don't have an EDL license, we will have to charge you because we have already given you an improvement notice. Mr. Adel, now we will arrest you. I will now hand over you to the police. We will hand over.
The Act requires that all facilities discharging wastewater must have a biodigester to treat the water before it's safely discharged. Failure to comply will attract a fine of between 2 million and 4 million or jail term of 6 months to 2 years. The operation started in Mombasa and will be rolled to other counties. Joy Pauline, KUTV.
And it's noteworthy that Kenya is now experiencing a severe shortage of skilled plumbers and masons as students forgo technical education, leaving property developers at the mercy of uncertified artisans. Stakeholders are now concerned that Kenya may be sitting on a labor time bomb due to glaring skills shortages.
As Kenya grapples with a severe shortage of skilled artisans due to students turning away from technical education in favor of courses leading to supposedly glamorous courses, stakeholders warn that Kenya could be sitting on a labor time bomb. Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies Director Mr. John Gitau, during an open day for students at the Nakuru Railways grounds, noted a mismatch between the market needs and training. He attributed this problem to lack of periodic surveys on the country's workforce population. The director also urged youths to embrace blue-collar jobs as opposed to white-collar jobs.
We give the youth an opportunity to progress on their career, on their dreams of getting employable skills, and these are skills they gain irrespective of the academic performance at the Form 4.
Speaking at the same occasion, Chairman to Nakuru County Tourism Association, Mr. David Mwangi, who was the chief guest, expressed optimism as student enrollment in TVETs had increased to the current 249,316 from 55,945 in 2013.
The government has applied the 100% transition from primary to secondary. But we are still lagging behind in the transition from secondary to tertiary colleges and universities. And that's why I would like to urge the government to look for every way out that all the students that sit for Form 4, they can transit into colleges like this one.
The importance of TVETs cannot be underestimated, and as such, equal efforts should be made to ensure their effectiveness. Eliud Obonyo, KUTV.
All right, and on my chronometer, it's 20 minutes past the top of the hour. It's time to take a first break here. We shall be coming back with the discussion of the night on financial security through insurance or savings, which I know most of you don't want to miss this, so stay with us. See you on the other side in a moment.
Driving and riding without incidences on the road is such an amazing experience. But do you know while many road traffic crashes are avoidable, human behavior continues to be the leading cause. Speeding, lane indiscipline, drunk driving, distracted driving, failure to wear a helmet, and failure to use available pedestrian ways have been flagged by NTSA as the fatal 6 behaviors likely to lead to a fatal crash and serious injuries. As part of the Usalama Barabarani campaign, we request all road users to prevent these fatal 6 behaviors for their own safety and that of others. When driving, ensure your speed is within the stipulated limits, the road ahead is clear before overtaking. Stick to your lane, keep left unless carefully overtaking. You're well rested if driving on long distances, and you never drink and drive. Usalama Barabarani starts with you. Fika Salama. This message is brought to you by the National Transport and Safety Authority and the European Union.
Today we are at Yale Bridges to bring you cybersecurity and immersive technology.
From the interaction with the customer, at the end of the day, we want to assure them of their security, of their infrastructure, of their systems. So when we come in on board, we don't just sell a product, we deliver a service. With virtual reality, we've actually managed now to use the new technology to be able to simulate environments that probably people would have been to be there physically, but now we put these spaces in virtual space and enable our participants to join in.
Ukiwa na dukuduku la michezo, tunafungua sanduku la dukuduku kwa ufahamu zaidi. Kila danadana, mitimko, mifiatuko na harakati zote ugani, sisi ni wako mwandani. Kukurukakara zote nyanjani, haziwezi kuangaziwa zaidi ya micharazo michezoni. Mimi mwanaspoti wako matata Peter Pinches Mwaora, ndakuwa na jopo lenye maarifa sufufu, nikufahamishe na nikuburudishe wewe shabiki shakiki kwa uhakiki na kindakindaki.
Je, ni jawabu gani ambalo kwamba aliwapatia? Mtume amwambia awala adullukum ala shay'in idha fa'altumuhu tahabbabtum. Hela siwajulishi jambo ambalo kwamba mkilifanya nyinyi, mkilikamata nyinyi, mtapendana. Mtume akaambia afshu salama bainakum. Enezeni amani kati yenu. Angalia. Yani maswahaba walidhania wataambiwa mambo makubwa. Walidhania wataambiwa jambo ambalo kwamba ni labda la faradhi.
Lola is an app that gives you a chance to watch videos, listen to audios, and read articles wherever you are for free. Motivational stories, dramas, campus life, technology, lifestyle, adventure, sports, academics, jobs, entertainment, and more. Download Lola now on Play Store. All you need, you got Lola.
To the Church O'Clock Show. I'm your host, Esther Becky.
And my name is DJ Terror.
We start you off with a word of prayer and get you started with a live transformational worship experience. And have our minds renewed by the word of God on the word segment.
And not forgetting new music za hii wiki, yani ndakuwa bado nawapatia pale wasanii wamekuwa kiwakali.
make sure manzo umetune in because zitakuwa zina flow pia pale mixes kwa wingi, yani zitakuwa zina come through, and pia performance yani from our gospel artist hapa on Gospel Art
from 7 to
10 a.m. only on KUTV.
Kenya kuna aina tofauti za hali ya anga ambazo huboresha au kuwa changamoto kwa wakazi wa eneo. Kaunti ya Makueni imeibuka kuwa bora katika masuala ya kilimo licha ya hali ya kiangazi.
Maembe huwa tunazalisha nyingi, lakini mtambo kuna ile capacity ambapo haiwezi pitisha na hatuwezi chukua maembe yote. In fact tunakuta tunachukua 5-6%.
Kaunti hii imejikakamua kwa udi na uvumba kutegua kitendawili. Ukambani kuna ukame.
Tambo maji ilikuwa ngumu kupata kiasi, kwa sababu kama ni pale kwa mto inapita tu inaenda. Lakini sasa hii kama imesimamishwa itakuwa rahisi kwetu.
Basi kikosi cha Boresha Kilimo kilitangamana na wakulima mbalimbali kuandaa Makueni County Edition.
Na wahimiza wana Makueni na Wakenya wote kwa jumla kuitazama kipindi cha Boresha Kilimo kila Jumamosi kuanzia saa 6:30.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Omondi Otieno.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us on KTV Primetime News. Now it's time for the discussion talking about financial security. Now financial security is of great concern to most people, especially to them that have a family, and when groping in the wilds of thoughts of insurance, thoughts of insurance rather kicks in. And insurance companies are large investors in the financial markets who might safeguard your financial stability by insuring the risk. Is it any better than life savings? Again, which would be the best insurance plan? And lots of questions requires deep thoughts before execution. And as we try to solve the jigsaw puzzle of the financial stability, we are joined by Beverly Akech, who is an insurance expert, to shed more light on this. Thank you so much, Beverly, for dedicating your time for this discussion.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right, now we're talking about financial stability, and this is really a top priority to people that are struggling to make ends meet wherever, even in the city and everywhere. Financial stability, it cuts across every place. It's a common denominator, I would say.
Yeah,
that,
sure.
And financial experts will propose that for you to have a financial stability, for you to attain financial stability, you should probably opt for insurance, and other experts will advise that you should do some sorts of savings. So we want to get an insight from you as an expert, which way would really work best for someone who is planning to attain a financial stability.
First of all, thank you for having me, and today's discussion is very important to any Kenyan who would like to experience some financial stability, and financial liberation by the end of the day.
Right.
So when it comes to savings and insurance, the individual needs do vary.
Right.
And also, what are your goals? By the end of the day, as a financial consultant, what we'll do is we'll sit you down, analyze you as a client, and analyze you with your goals, because you must have goals.
Right.
For you to desire to have a financial stability or financial freedom, you have goals. So under goals, we have different types of goals. We've got the medium-term goals, we've got the short-term goals, and the long-term goals by the end of the day. So what we will do, or there's something called capital mix, whereby we tell you that do not put your eggs in the same basket, you know. So by the end of the day, you'll still have a savings plan, and you'll also have a life insurance policy. Insurance provides you with different type of platforms whereby you can be able to access the medium term, the short term, and the long term goals by the end of the day.
Right.
Yes.
Now, you know, most people don't really understand when you're talking about, you know, the moment you mention insurance, and a really quick thought, another thing that comes in mind is assurance, because now you find that there is life insurance and then there is life assurance. So what's really the difference between the two, life insurance and life assurance?
The difference between assurance and insurance, the A and the I. Now, assurance is guaranteed. For example, in insurance, we have different plans. For example, when you take up maybe an education plan, which has a definite term, to mean if it is 10 years, it is 5 years, it has a definite period when it will mature, when the guaranteed amount will be paid back to the client. Now, insurance is whereby it is not, it is in the event of an occurrence happening, that is when it is paid. For example, a motor insurance, you know, a motor insurance will only be paid in the event of an accident. You know, it is not guaranteed that you're going to get an accident. It is if. It is maybe, maybe not by the end of the day. So that is the difference. Assurance is guaranteed. Insurance is payable in the event of the occurrence happening.
Right.
Yes.
Now it's good that you've mentioned the motor insurance. And you know, most people, of course, when you talk about insurance, the types of insurance that most people know is the motor insurance and probably the life insurance. So what are the types of insurance that people should really get to know of, so that when they're going to buy an insurance plan, they know there are also these and these alternatives?
There are two major broad categories of insurance or assurance. We've got the general and the life. So under general is whereby now we have the motor insurance, we have the work injury benefit, we have the personal accident cover, we have now something like domestic cover whereby you get to insure your household items. We have even the agricultural insurance, you know, different kind of general insurance. So, and when we come to now the life insurance, is whereby now we have the ordinary life. We have ordinary life whereby you can take up a life insurance for yourself. You can take up an education policy if you have a young one. You can take up a funeral insurance. You can do a retirement, a pension package. You can have an annuity. An annuity is whereby it is more of a retirement package, but it is an amount that is paid terminally until you die, you know. So those are the two major categories of insurance, but they're now broadly explained or advanced depending with the kind, every need. For example, while we are here, you as an employee here, you must have a work injury benefit insurance, of course, in the event that you are involved in an accident while you are within your premise of work, then the insurance is supposed to come in and play. We also have the theft insurance, fire, burglary. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, variety of insurance.
Right. Now, and talking of insurance, you know, in the public domain, mostly people, when you tell them about insurance, probably because I've seen it with people who sell insurance policies, and then they'll tell you that you know, if you approach a young person, you're telling him that I need you to I'm advising you to buy this insurance package, this insurance plan. They say that you know, I've not reached that age where I really need an insurance, probably because now most people think that insurance is meant for the old people and probably people with chronic you know, illnesses. So what, as an expert, who are really best, I mean, which category of people really need insurance?
This has been a notion, and sometimes I say it is out of ignorance. Everybody needs an insurance.
Right from birth?
Yes, right from birth. Everybody needs an insurance by the end of the day. It is only that sometimes it is the ability to afford one, you know. But most of the insurance industry has been regulated in a way that most people can actually access an insurance. Any person requires an insurance, and actually it is advisable to take up an insurance policy when you're young, because insurance with age you know, there's a way that the younger you are, the lower you pay. The older you get, the higher you pay. Right? So it is advisable for every person, every Kenyan who can afford an insurance. And currently insurance are affordable on the bare minimum of like 20 bob per day. Any person can actually, any person that is working or has a business, whether in the formal or in the informal sector, can actually afford an insurance.
Right.
So it is not a matter of the wealthy versus the poor. No, any person can have an insurance because it is a basic need. You know, one thing that people do not understand is that insurance is a basic need.
Right.
They think that it is the last option amongst all their priorities. It should feature as the first thing on your list. It is a basic need.
Right.
Yes.
All right. So moving forward, probably if probably attend, I don't know whether it's in primary schools where we're being taught about basic needs. They're telling us of food, shelter, and clothing. And of course now insurance.
Yeah. Insurance has actually fall under a basic need. And why am I saying this? For example, you need to access an hospital. And if you ask Kenyans, they'll tell you that going to the hospital has proven to be a bit expensive. So you find that people prefer going to a private hospital and like the public hospital because of the way you're going to be attended to. And going to the private hospital, it means you really need to dig deep into your pocket. And insurance will come in handy for you. So the idea of you all the time thinking, you know, like you're worried, insurance takes that away from you. It gives you that peace of mind, you know. You know, in the event of any sickness befalling me, I got an insurance. Insurance is that person that you need and is that person that will have your back when everyone is running away from you.
Right.
Yes.
That's interesting. Now, another question that probably really need to, you know, people really need to know, because you're saying that insurance is cheap. There are even packages of someone you're expected to pay 20 shillings per day.
Yeah.
So what happens in the event that probably you are under an insurance cover and you are expected to pay premiums, but then you skip to pay the premiums? Probably, let's say that you're supposed to pay it probably on a daily basis, weekly basis, or monthly basis, but you skip that month or that duration on which you're supposed to pay that insurance. You don't pay. So what happens in that event?
Ideally, by the IRA rules, is the moment you skip a month without paying for your remitting your insurance money or premiums, you are not on cover. And this one we are talking about now, the endowment plans, like you have an education plan, or you are planning to, you have an unit linked, or it is a life cover. You know, let's just say, for example, a life policy. If you fail to remit for 1 month, it means that ideally you are out of cover. You are not on cover. So it means should something happen to you at that moment, then you are naked.
Right.
But now it depends again with the different insurance companies. They give that which we say a grace period. Most of the insurance company will give you a grace period of like 4 months, to which you need to remit the premiums,
yes,
to ensure that you are up to date. Because in the event of a claim, for the insurance company to honor the claim, what they'll tell you, they'll require you to pay the outstanding premiums. or the money that is outstanding, the months which you have not remitted your money, so that the claim can actually be honored. So to avoid such scenarios, we always advise clients to ensure that they are up to date with their premiums. But you know, by the end of the day, things do change, and COVID-19 taught us a lot of lesson. That today you can wake up and you had a lot of energy, and tomorrow you don't have that energy. Today you're working, and then the next day you don't have a job. So some insurance companies that actually did consider, because by the end of the day we are bridging the gap between the producer and the consumer. No, the insurance cannot exist without the consumer. They have to give a listening ear to the consumer and get to know their needs and address their needs. So you'll find that some insurance companies will tell you that in the event of any occurrence, like you don't have a job, come to us. We are your friends, we are not your enemies. Come to us. We are going to help you walk that journey, because we have different options. You don't have to necessarily lose your money, because that has been a notion about insurance. That you want to take insurance, you're going to lose money. Some people say they see an insurance agent and then they say, that's a thief. No. You really need to have a conversation with your agent or your insurance person to take you through the nitty-gritties of the package that you've taken. Insurance is very friendly. We are very friendly. Yes.
All right. I hope they are friendly indeed, because you as an insurance expert, and you have a friendly look. I hope even the people out there in the insurance field, they also have the friendly looks.
Of course.
Now, another thing that would also be interesting to know, because you're saying insurance, you take an insurance and it kicks in when a risk occurs.
Yes.
So assuming I take an insurance, or rather anyone takes an insurance cover, and then throughout the period where you took this, the period where you signed up for this insurance policy, the risk never occurred. It could be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Even if it's the health insurance, because I don't even remember the last time I went to the hospital. Of course, that's the case of course.
Say amen to that.
Yeah, amen, really. But I don't fall sick probably in a year or something, and you've been paying hefty amounts. You're paying large amounts, of course, because the insurance are varied. So what happens in an event that you've been paying insurance, but that risk has never occurred? And then you calculate, you really find that you really paid a lot of premiums. Is it possible to claim at least some amount of the money?
First of all, we need to understand on which basis does insurance operate. By the end of the day, if you look at it, for example, you have a car. Let's say your car is worth 2 million. Then I have a car. My car is maybe worth 600 or 800,000. You pay premiums for your car, right? The reason why you are paying premium is to cushion the unforeseen risk. Insurance takes care of something that you cannot see. You have not planned for it. You are only cushioning. Should it occur, then it means you have an umbrella to cover you during the rainy days. So insurance operates on a pool of large numbers. I have to bring mine, you have to bring yours, another person has to bring theirs. So let's say in a pool of 10, what is the probability of the 10 people claiming? That is how insurance operates. So if out of 10, 2 people claim, it means we are going to use your premium, they are going to use my premium, these other people premium to pay these claims. You get it? So for mainly general insurance, you cannot claim if you did not use it. Yes, because should you have used it, and assuming you had a 2 million car, where were we going to get the 2 million? And maybe for your 2 million, you only paid maybe 100,000 for it. You are paying a small premium for that big amount. In the event of, let's say, a total damage to your car, it means we either repair, and if we are not able to repair, we pay the car.
Right.
You know, we give you another car. The same as the one that you had. You know, we indemnify you. To mean we are taking you back to your original position where you were before the occurrence. So there's no way we will refund the money back to you because you did not claim. If you did not claim, thank God that you did not claim, but another person did claim and we utilized your money on it. That is how insurance actually operate, a pool of large numbers. So you have to come in as a pool and we all depend on each other. Yes.
Right, that's really interesting insight. You know, a lot of things that people really didn't know, but now at least we get to know this. Now I don't want us to wind up just
just something that is in the insurance. Then we have now the assurance. The assurance is whereby now you know, people don't understand the difference between I need to take an education policy, I need to have a unit linked or an investment plan with an insurance company, and a pure life insurance. We've got pure life insurance that pays in the event of your demise or someone's demise. We have an endowment policies, which means it pays bonuses in between, you know, or an education policy that you save towards your child's education need. You know, so you are cushioning that should something happen to you as the main breadwinner to this family, where will your family fall? Insurance will come in and stand, though we might not really feel in your shoes, but we actually offer a helping hand.
Right. That's so interesting. Just in a minute, I want you to tell people who might need your, of course, the consultancy services, so, you know, to get more and more insight, because we're cutting this because of time, but people would wish to extend this conversation with you, to get you. Just in a minute.
For those who are interested to, number one, understand that each and every person needs an insurance, and no one is overinsured. Some people say that I have insurance. No one is overinsured. If you are in a position to afford more, please take as much as possible. And if you'd like to reach me, you can reach me on 0708 94 96 85. I'll repeat, 0708 94 96 85, or bivaliakech@gmail.com, and I'll be able to help you walk that journey. And yes, for now, for those who will take up the chance and the opportunity, I'll do it for free. But after that, there are charges.
All right. Right. Thank you so much, Beverly Kate, for that insight on financial security. We really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we're taking a very short break. We still have much for you, so stay with us. See you in a moment.
KUTV, in conjunction with Kenyatta University Funeral Home, is now offering death announcements immediately following our news bulletins at 7 p.m. At this sorrowful time, as you share in your grief, allow us to communicate your announcement of your loved one on KUTV in both Kiswahili and English. For more details, kindly inquire at the KU Funeral Home Service Desk or call 0736 928 380 or dial 020-359-9054.
That is usually a very critical thing in our space, because you have clients coming in with very many ideas and very interesting budgets. So what you do, you listen to them, you listen to the brand. So what is the brand about? What is the value or solution they're bringing to people? Who are they targeting? And then now from there, we are able to advise from our expertise, from what is happening, what is emerging. And then now we're able to come up with the right strategies, we're able to come up with the right tools, the right channels, the right messaging, so that now we are able to, we give that as a proposal to the client.
Have you ever dealt with a bad client, like mwenye manzejo?
Actually, I never say clients are bad, because of course customer is always right, but of course people, sometimes I used to have dreadlocks and saa zingine sikuwa napata time ya kuretouch. So people used to look down on me so much.
Would you rather marry a commercial sex worker who loves your child or a Christian who doesn't love your child?
Huh?
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Omondi Otieno.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's carry on. Now, for years now, Nairobi and other major cities in the country have been struggling with the issue of sewer system. And due to this, the government has put infrastructure in place to improve the old sewer system that has been a challenge for years. And here's the third part of our second series of water and sanitation with Bentura Kwamboka.
This is The Agenda with Bentura Kwamboka and Colonel Retired Cyrus Oguna.
Water is an essential component in human life, and as a necessity, when it lacks, it brings disruption in human day-to-day activities. Welcome to The Agenda, a program that gives you insights on national development in line with the President's Big Four agenda and Vision 2030. Today, we speak with government spokesperson, Colonel Retired Cyrus Oguna, on water and sanitation status in the country. I'm Bentura Kwamboka, and this is The Agenda.
Okay, and that's now let's move to sanitation. Do we have programs that the government has put in place in terms of sanitation?
Yes, water must go hand in hand with sanitation. Yes. And that is where the ministry is one. Ministry of Water, Irrigation and Sanitation. And the programs that are being run, and especially within urban centers, actually both water and sanitation. And like I did mention, especially in the informal settlements, in urban centers, sanitation facilities have been very poor.
Yeah.
Very, very poor. In many of our towns do not have, sufficient sanitation facilities.
Yeah.
And the programs are to ensure that all these are expanded. As of now, we are at about 30%, having, facilities provide sanitation to our people. So it's a bit low compared to water, but it's supposed to be running side by side. So we're not building dams and ponds to provide water, even piping. But in urban centers, there's also parallel programs that are running to provide sanitation to our people. So in the informal settlements, particularly in the Nairobi area and other towns as well, there are programs that, are running either to unblock. Some of these sewer systems were already there, but were blocked because of neglect over a period of time. So the program that the government initiated of, Kazi kwa Vijana, also helping in terms of unblocking some of this, clogged sewer system in urban centers. So they're providing what is being provided for years, but also efforts are being made to ensure that clogged sewer systems are unblocked, but also where there are none, that new ones are constructed. Yes.
And actually, it was commendable because I think a few months ago or last year, some old estates actually were undergoing probably they are revamping the sewer system or they're building new sewer lines to accommodate the population.
Yes.
But still, you find when we have heavy downpour, especially in the city, we still have that issue with the sewage. Probably where is the challenge, or is it the process has not yet been complete?
No, it's there's a bit of education that is required on our people. See, when we throw garbage that cannot be, that are not, biodegradable.
Yeah.
With some plastic papers within the sewer lines, what will happen?
Automatically blocks.
It will be blocked.
Yes.
So, some of these are actually as a result of our own activity as a people, right? So when there is a heavy downpour, obviously there will be a lot of water that will be running into the sewers system all at once. And then they are getting to a place whereby there is, there's constriction of movement, like a water bottle neck, so movement of water within that, constricted area, of course, is impeded. So water must find a place somewhere for it to escape. So when, as a people, we are able to also to understand that our action can also, come back to harm us, right? So that we are able to separate. In fact, we are being advised these days that even when you are managing your garbage, you're supposed to separate them.
Yes.
From those that are not biodegradable, those that are. So you separate them in different bags for those who are able to do that. But again, I know there are certain areas that cannot happen. All right? So we are advised that do not throw this litter in a place whereby it will be swept by flood into the sewer system. Place them somewhere where they can be collected by the Nairobi, if it's Nairobi, by NMS, and be disposed in an appropriate place. So what we see happening really in our urban centers is because one, indeed, we have many. We are using at one go. Imagine if during the day, like I mentioned, that we are 7 million people in Nairobi during the day. During the night, others go to Kiambu, others go to Kajiado, that is Kitengela, others go to Rongai, others go to Machakos, or they work during the day. If during the day all of us flash at the same time, about 7 million people at the same time, then you can imagine the impact of that. Now, when it rains, it's like all of us flashing at the same time, for instance, right? And it rains so heavily, and therefore some of these, sewer lines or sewer systems, because of what I mentioned, that some of the garbage that is thrown in open places are washed away into the same sewer line with a lot of running water getting there at the same time. All right. So when they get to an area that is restricted, certainly the sewer line will burst. The manholes, because water will force pressure on the manhole to open, and then it comes out. So we need the advice as a people that we must also be able to think about what our actions may mean in the long term, and how they may actually be able to impact back on us. Yes.
So essentially, Nairobi County and maybe other cities, they have an elaborate sewer system. So the issue we are having is us as the people.
Well, I don't think we cannot talk about elaborate, because like I mentioned, that there's work going on. And especially in in the informal settlement areas, there's work that is going on, right? The work is not completed yet. However, even within areas where there is sufficient, let's say elaborate sewer system, there are still situations during which you get burst sewers, right? Ordinarily, the blame is always on NMS, if you're in Nairobi. But how do we look at our own action having been, the cause of that? The expansion of population in Nairobi has not been in tandem with the expansion of the system. The population has grown very quickly against a system that has not grown as fast as the population. And therefore that also applies pressure on the system. Right? But with proper management, if you're able as a people to understand that yes, this system has been there for a long time, how best can we be able to utilize it? That everybody is able to segregate litter that they generate in their own domestic environment. This is for this, this is for this, this is for this. And it does not matter where you live. Whether you live in an informal settlement, does not matter. I think this is something that we are all rational people can be able to know that this is a banana peel, but this is something that cannot be biologically degradable, and therefore should be put separate. Maybe what may be lacking is that awareness, so that everybody is aware about that. Yes.
Okay, with that, I think it's a very good insight on water and sanitation project. And from your end, probably if you have any other additions that you feel we've left out and we really need to capture it, please you flow.
I think it is important for people to appreciate the importance of water. Water is also important because you're putting an alternative to water. For fuel. If it is so high and maybe not available, you can walk. You can even run if you can. If there is no energy, you can use kerosene. There's always alternative for other things, but for water there is no. You cannot brush your teeth using a soda. You even wash your baby using a soda. You can't. There are things you have that you must be able to protect at all costs. And when I think about 40% being wasted, that is a huge amount of water that is going to waste. And therefore it is important for us as people to understand the importance of using water efficiently. So that even as the government is working on this other program to provide, infrastructure and eventually to also ensure that all of us have good water in our homes. But there is what we must do ourselves, to use that water efficiently, and also when it rains, that we're able to, harvest water and store it. There's a program right now that is being carried out whereby new construction, constructed buildings will have to provide for how to harvest, water that is coming from rain, so that that water does not just run to waste like it does. And therefore, it is, I think, a responsibility that all of us must be able to take as a people, that we're not just looking to the government, but also looking at what we can do ourselves to be able to not only to conserve our water catchment areas, but also when it rains, what we do with the little rain that comes, and also when it gets into our taps, the water gets into our taps, how we are able to use that water efficiently. Because we can become a nation that is not consistently water deficient.
Okay. Thank you, Sana. It's always a pleasure having you on board, and we hope to get more insights from you in our upcoming interviews.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sana.
All right, now let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. The Confederation of African Football has officially excluded Kenya and Zimbabwe from taking part in the 2023 Africa World Cup of Nations qualifiers set to begin on the 1st June this year. This comes after International Football Governing Body FIFA suspended the two nations due to government interference. The ban comes at the backdrop of Kenya's refusal to succeed FIFA condition for readmission that included reinstating the disbanded Football Kenya Federation under the leadership of Nick Mwendwa. Kenya had been drawn in Group C along with Burundi, Cameroon and Namibia, while Zimbabwe were pulled in Group K with Liberia, Morocco and South Africa. All right, now Italy's 100 meters Olympic champion Marcel Jacobs has withdrawn from Saturday's Diamond League race in Eugene. The 27-year-old champion had, and moving on, the national basketball team for both men and women began training at the Kasarani Indoor Arena today ahead of the Commonwealth Games tipped to kick off on the 28th June. All right, and with that, we call it a wrap here on KTV Primetime News. Many thanks indeed for your valid company throughout the bulletin. Our sign language interpreter tonight has been Moses Gitonga. My name is Omondi Otieno. Tomorrow shall be having Stanley Nyaring Gita. Have a great night. See you when you see me.